Hello everyone, I'm Nahla Hamouda, belonging to the College of Pharmaceutical Sciences in Medical University. Today, I'm going to introduce about medical terminology. Medical terminology is a very important topic for all science students because we do research, and the end result of research and the main target is to cure human diseases. So we have to know about medical terminology. When we read scientific papers from all over the world, the common language is English and it uses the medical terminology. So today I'm going to show you how to understand and search about the medical terminology. So first, medical terminology is a language of medicine, primarily derived from Greek and Latin words. This is an important point to know about medical terminology because even people who can speak English very well, they don't understand medical terminology. Next, why it's important? As I said, medical terminology is the international language necessary for communication between the medical team, involving the doctor, the pharmacist, and the nurse. Again, why it's important to speak that international language? Because the wider your vocabulary base is, the better the patient cure you will able to provide for the patient. It's important that all the team, including the treating team and the researching team, they speak the same language. So, understanding medical terminology involves breaking down words into their separate components and having a good knowledge of these parts. This is the most important part of our presentation today, how to understand medical terminology. First, we have to know medical terminology is composed of many parts, and to understand each part, we have to break down the words into many parts and search for each part individually. As long as you train and every day you think about medical terminology and search about medical terminology, by time you will be an expert in understanding these terms. So, let's have an example. What can you see here? It's microcytic anemia. What is the meaning of microcytic anemia? If you are not a doctor, you are not familiar with this word. But it's not strange, okay? Let's break down the words into several parts. Let's see. Micro, this is the first half. Cytic, second half. An, third part. Emia, the fourth part. By breaking down the word into many parts, we can search for the meaning of each part individually. And then we put them all together so we can reach the final meaning of the medical terminology. So let's see. What do you think micro means? Micro means small. Cytic means it's a Greek or Latin word and the meaning is cell. Cell means cytic. An means no or absent. Emia means blood. So now we have just knew the words of the small parts of the term. Small cell, no blood. So, no blood is anemia. Small cell is macrocytic. So, it's the anemia where the cells are small. So, it's very easy. For example, if I say to you, it's macrocytic anemia, what does it mean? Anemia is no blood. Cytic means cell, macro means big. So, it's the anemia of big cells, and so on. So from this simple example, we can have the following conclusion. If we consider the cell, it's the main word, and we say it's the root word. Next one is the small or the micro, which is located before the main root. So it's called the prefix. Prefix means before the main word. And then, if we see the word of anemia, it's composed of two parts. An, it's before, and emia, it's after. So we have before and after, so they are prefix and suffix. So from this slide, we can conclude the four main components of medical terminology. First one is the prefixes, appears at the beginning of the word, and usually they describe the site or intensity of the main word. Second is the suffixes. They are located at the end of the words and reflects a procedure, condition, or disease. Like Anemia. Anemia means blood, so they describe this one. Third one is the roots word, which is the main word located in the medical term. And the essential meaning of the word frequently indicates a body part. The fourth one are abbreviations, which are summarization of the medical terminology. Maybe it's composed of 4 or 5 words, so it's too long to write. So usually we use abbreviations. Abbreviations should be international used. You don't make your personal abbreviations. These abbreviations should be internationally standard for all doctors to use. Later, we are going to have examples for these abbreviations. So, let's talk about each part of the terminology. The first one are the prefixes. We said the prefixes appear at the beginning of the word and usually they describe a location or intensity. We have many examples. I just wrote here sample summarize for examples of prefixes. For example, let's say choose auto. Auto means self. So if we have a medical terminology like autoimmune disease, what's autoimmune disease? Whenever you read the medical terminology, you don't know the meaning, just simply break it down. So auto means self. Immune means it's an immune disease. So generally, I understand that these diseases are directed towards the body, from the body, because it's auto, from myself. Okay? So let's next move to the next parts, which are the suffixes, which appear at the end of the words, and they reflect a procedure, condition, or disease. We have, of course, many examples, but I want to stress on one of them, which is the itis. Itis is a very common suffix, appears in international journals, and always the students ask, what is itis? So usually, the prefix is a body organ and followed by the suffix itis. So whenever you read itis, you understand there is a kind of inflammation in this body part. Okay? Third one is the roots word. This is the main part of the medical terminology, and simply you can understand which organ or which system in the body is affected and has the disease. The first part are abbreviations, and as I said, they are used to shorten the words, and you should use only the standard abbreviations to avoid confusion and errors. Internationally, we have some abbreviations very well known, and whenever the doctor or the pharmacist or the nurse wrote down in the patient's report these abbreviations, everybody understands what they mean. For example, ECG, it's a very common abbreviation used for electrocardiogram. Well, this is another example for medical terminology. Let's see what does electrocardiogram means. Electro, break down the word into many parts. Electrocardiogram. Electro means it's something recorded and used electricity. Cardio means it's a Greek word meaning the heart. So whenever you read cardio, it means it's related to the cardiovascular system or the heart. Gram, it's a suffix meaning a machine that is recording the electricity of the heart. So simply, just by breaking down the word, we understood that electrocardiogram is a device that records the electricity of the heart. So before leaving abbreviations, I want to stress, just use the internationally known abbreviations, not the abbreviations made by yourself. Okay, thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed this video.